not even a question. If Lamont Roach knocked down Gervonta Tank Davis, Gervonta Tank Davis was hit with a punch, and afterwards he stepped back and took a knee.
What you was thinking when Tank did that when he took the knee? What you was thinking when he took the knee?
I can't speak on it.
Can't think on that?
Can't speak on it.
He did some bullshit though?
I can't speak on it.
You have no personal opinion, nothing?
Can't, especially you.
The boxing world was set ablaze when explosive audio recordings surfaced, revealing private conversations between Gervonta, Tank Davis, his corner team, and the referees during his controversial bout against Lamont Roach Jr. The tapes, which quickly went viral, exposed what many are calling a blatant disregard for fairness. In one clip, Davis's corner can be heard strategizing with the referee, Steve Willis, who seemingly assured them, "I'ma let you fight out of the clinch, especially if one arm is loose." This shocking revelation has sparked outrage, with fans and analysts alike questioning whether Tank received preferential treatment and whether the integrity of the sport was compromised.
You guys calm down, listen to me.
Hey, come on now. We're trying to get it. Come on now. We're trying to get.
The leaked audio has become the centerpiece of a growing scandal, with calls for transparency and accountability echoing across the boxing community. In the wake of the controversial fight, Lamont Roach Jr. wasted no time, filing an official appeal, demanding justice for what he believes was a stolen victory.
Steve said, fight out of the clinch. That's what we were gonna do. He came in the back and was like, I'm gonna let you fight out, especially if one arm is loose or whatever the case may be, as long as...
Roach's legal team has zeroed in on referee Steve Willis's questionable decisions, particularly in the pivotal 9th round. Roach, who dominated much of the fight, argues that Willis's failure to properly officiate the match cost him not only the win, but also the WBA lightweight title. The appeal highlights multiple instances of alleged bias, including Willis's refusal to count Tank's voluntary knee as a knockdown, a decision that could have swung the fight in Roach's favor.
It happens all the time. A fighter get hit with a punch, delayed reaction, takes a knee, and that's a knockdown.
Roach's camp has been vocal about their frustration, stating, "This isn't just about one fight. It's about ensuring fairness in boxing for every fighter, not just the stars." The appeal has garnered widespread support, with many in the boxing world rallying behind Roach as he fights for what he believes is right. At the heart of the storm is referee Steve Willis, whose handling of the fight has been labeled as nothing short of disastrous. The most glaring controversy came in the 9th round when Tank Davis, after absorbing a series of clean jabs from Roach, suddenly dropped to one knee. Instead of initiating a mandatory 8 count, Willis hesitated, stopping his count at 3 and allowing Davis to retreat to his corner for what appeared to be unsanctioned assistance. This decision has been widely criticized, with experts arguing that the knee should have been ruled a knockdown, resulting in a 10-8 round for Roach. Teddy Atlas, a respected voice in boxing, didn't hold back, calling Willis's actions inexcusable and suggesting that the referee may have been starstruck by Tank's celebrity status.
I'm sorry. I'm terrible. I am, but I'm ashamed of myself. I am so cynical, but this sport has made me cynical. I'm sorry. I don't see anyone's going to make...
The controversy has reignited debates about referee accountability, with many demanding stricter oversight and better training for officials to prevent such incidents in the future. Willis's actions, or lack thereof, have not only overshadowed the fight, but also cast a dark cloud over the sport's credibility.
10-8. Simple. So I was like, all right, the ref started counting. While I'm looking at him, I'm like, the ref started counting. But I see him get up and go to the corner. So
as the controversy surrounding the Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach Jr. fight reached a fever pitch, the New York State Athletic Commission, NYSAC, found itself under intense scrutiny. Instead of addressing the leaked recordings and mounting evidence of referee misconduct head-on, the commission chose to downplay the significance of the audio, dismissing it as inconsequential. This dismissive stance only fueled the fire, with fans, analysts, and even fellow fighters accusing the NYSAC of protecting its own and turning a blind eye to potential corruption. The commission's refusal to take the recordings seriously has led to widespread backlash, with critics arguing that their inaction undermines the integrity of the sport.
It's going to reprimand this referee. What are they going to do? I mean, it happens too often. It's happened too often. I don't know. We need a national commission. That's the only thing I could think of, but we're not.
Adding to the outrage, the NYSAC admitted to technical issues that prevented them from reviewing instant replay footage during the fight, a revelation that many see as a flimsy excuse to avoid accountability. As calls for transparency grow louder, the commission's reputation hangs in the balance, with many questioning whether it can be trusted to uphold fairness in boxing. Legendary boxing trainer and analyst Teddy Atlas didn't mince words when weighing in on the controversy. Known for his no-nonsense approach, Atlas tore into referee Steve Willis's handling of the fight, calling it a glaring example of bias and unprofessionalism.
One right now, but the last thing I want to say to put a bow on this one, Bud. We talked about the controversial part, but I want to finish.
This sport has made me cynical, Atlas admitted during a passionate rant on his podcast. He suggested that Willis's decisions, or lack thereof, were influenced by Tank Davis's star power, questioning whether the referee would have allowed Roach the same leniency. We need better refs, more educated refs who aren't afraid to make the right call, even if it's against a big name, Atlas declared. His comment struck a chord with fans and fighters alike, many of whom echoed his sentiments. Atlas didn't stop there. He also criticized the NYSAC for its failure to address the controversy, calling for a national commission to oversee boxing and ensure consistency in officiating. His fiery critique has become a rallying cry for those demanding change in a sport often plagued by questionable decisions.
They miss and you counter, and then all of a sudden you're in front of them. Boom! You're the invisible man. You're on the. That's sweet science too. Yes, and it's easier to see. It grabs your attention. Oh, wow, look at that guy. He's on the outside.
Controversy took center stage during a heated pro-box TV panel discussion, where some of boxing's most respected voices dissected the fight's pivotal moments. The panel, which included retired referee Jack Rice, veteran boxing writer Dan Raphael, and analysts Chris Algieri and Paulie Malignaggi, was unanimous in its verdict.
Counting. While I'm looking at him, I'm like, the rest started counting. But I see him get up and go to the corner. So now I'm just like, all right, now I'm confused. I don't know what's going on.
Did you think he was stopping the fight? He had a
Tank Davis's knee in the 9th round should have been ruled a knockdown. If you take a knee while punches are being thrown, it's a knockdown, plain and simple, Malignaggi asserted. The panelists agreed that this oversight cost Lamont Roach Jr. a 10-8 round, which would have flipped the fight's outcome in his favor. Dan Raphael went a step further, pointing out that Willis's failure to enforce the rules not only robbed Roach of a potential victory, but also deprived him of millions of dollars in earnings and the prestige of handing Tank his first professional loss.
In round number 9, Gervonta Davis takes a knee, landed a right hand, then 2 jabs afterward. What were you thinking when this happened? Were you surprised as everybody else? What was on your mind?
Man, I was surprised, man. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I thought it was a 10-8.
Discussion also highlighted the broader implications of the controversy, with panelists calling for stricter officiating standards and greater accountability. As the debate raged on, one thing became clear. The boxing world is demanding answers, and the pressure on the NYSAC to act is only growing. In a bold move to right what many see as a grave injustice, Lamont Roach Jr.'s advisor, Gary Jonas, filed an official appeal with the New York State Athletic Commission, NYSAC. The appeal meticulously outlined the multiple instances of referee Steve Willis's questionable decisions during the fight, particularly the failure to count Tank Davis's voluntary knee as a knockdown in the 9th round. Jonas argued that this oversight alone warranted a 10-8 round for Roach, which would have shifted the fight's outcome in his favor. The appeal didn't stop there. It also highlighted Willis's decision to allow Davis to retreat to his corner mid-round for unsanctioned assistance, a clear violation of boxing rules that could have resulted in disqualification.
I didn't think he was stopping the fight, but then again, like, when I look at him in the corner, I'm like, what is going on? Like, I don't know. I don't know now. I just don't know what's going on, besides the fact that
Jonas's filing was a comprehensive indictment of the officiating, calling for the NYSAC to overturn the majority draw and declare Roach the rightful winner. The appeal has become a rallying point for those who believe the sport's integrity is at stake, with many hoping it will force the commission to take meaningful action. However, with the NYSAC's track record of downplaying controversies, the boxing world remains skeptical about whether justice will be served. As the backlash intensified,
You know something funny? When we was talking in like the 12th round, I think the 12th or 11th, we was talking shit, right? But he like, you ain't gonna win.
Gervonta Tank Davis took to the mic to explain his controversial decision to take a knee during the 9th round. In a post-fight interview that left many scratching their heads, Davis claimed that hair chemicals used during a recent styling session had seeped into his eyes, causing a burning sensation that forced him to seek relief. "I just got my hair done 2 days ago, and she put grease in my hair. When I started sweating, it got into my eyes and burned," Davis explained, seemingly unfazed by the boos from the crowd. While some fans accepted his explanation at face value, many saw it as a flimsy excuse to cover for what they believed was a strategic move to buy time.
Why not? What you talking about? They like, they ain't gonna give it to you. I was like, oh, is that right? So, you know, that's how boxing works.
Critics pointed out that Davis's reaction, taking a knee, turning his back to Roach, and retreating to his corner, was inconsistent with someone experiencing genuine discomfort. The explanation did little to quell the controversy, with some even suggesting that Davis's actions were a calculated attempt to manipulate the rules. Whether his story holds up or not, one thing is certain: it has only added fuel to the fire of an already explosive scandal. Amid the chaos, one thing has become abundantly clear: the boxing world is hungry for a rematch. Prominent figures, including Matchroom Boxing's Eddie Hearn, have publicly stated their belief that an immediate rematch between Tank Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. is not only warranted but inevitable.
Fight. One thing that's kind of baffling is that it wasn't a knockdown. I mean, look, he wasn't hurt. There's no doubt about that. But if you take a knee in the fight and you touch down, whilst punches are being thrown, it has to be a knockdown. I've heard some people.
Hearn, known for his candid takes, acknowledged the controversy surrounding the fight, but stopped short of calling for the result to be overturned. "I don't think the NYSAC will change the outcome, but the rematch is going to happen anyway," he revealed, hinting that negotiations are already underway. While the NYSAC lacks the authority to mandate a rematch, the overwhelming demand from fans, analysts, and fighters has created significant pressure for both camps to run it back. Roach, who has emerged as a fan favorite for his grace and sportsmanship, has expressed his willingness to step into the ring with Davis again, this time with hopes of leaving no doubt. For Davis, a rematch represents an opportunity to silence his critics and prove that his undefeated record is no fluke.
You won't get too much on paper, but shit, I damn sure thought I had it. Especially when they announced the score for him, I was like, oh, they gonna give me a.
As the boxing world waits with bated breath, one question looms large: will the rematch deliver the clarity and justice that the first fight so glaringly lacked? Boxing legend and Golden Boy Promotions founder Oscar de la Hoya didn't hold back when sharing his thoughts on the controversial fight. Known for his candid commentary, De La Hoya expressed genuine surprise at referee Steve Willis's handling of the match, particularly the decision not to count Tank Davis's knee as a knockdown. "If you take a knee in the ring, it's a knockdown. End of story," De La Hoya stated emphatically.
The decision, or I think a draw was meant to be. So I like the draw.
Do you like the knee? Do you like the knee though? Was that a good call on the ref?
No, if you take the knee, man, we're not.
He went on to praise Lamont Roach Jr.'s performance, calling it one of the most impressive displays he's seen from an underdog in recent memory. Roach was on his game. He fought with heart, skill, and determination, and he deserved better from the officials, De La Hoya remarked. His comments added weight to the growing consensus that Roach was robbed of a historic victory. De La Hoya also took a subtle jab at the NYSAC, suggesting that the commission's failure to address the controversy reflects broader issues within the sport. His take resonated with fans and fighters alike, further solidifying Roach's status as the moral victor of the bout.
If you take a knee in the 90s or in 2000, you're taking a point off. That's the bottom line. You're taking a point off. I don't know what happened with the referee. Maybe he was a little starstruck. Maybe he was a little...
Promoter Eddie Hearn, never one to shy away from controversy, weighed in with his trademark bluntness. While he acknowledged the glaring officiating errors, Hearn made it clear that he doesn't expect the New York State Athletic Commission to overturn the fight's result. "I don't think they'll change the outcome, but the rematch is going to happen anyway," Hearn revealed during an interview. He emphasized that the controversy has only heightened interest in a second fight, which he believes is already in the works. Hearn also dismissed calls for Davis to be disqualified over his mid-round retreat to the corner, calling it a bizarre situation, but not grounds for disqualification. Instead, he focused on the bigger picture, noting that the fight exposed vulnerabilities in Davis's game and elevated Roach's stock in the boxing world.
saying, oh, that, you know, he should be disqualified. He went back to the corner. I don't buy that, to be honest with you. I mean, I think that's a warning, but it's a bit of a bizarre situation for me. Like, there was a lot of people in boxing that were saying that this is a really tough fight. Like,
this is a wake-up call for Tank, Hearn said, suggesting that the close call might push Davis to elevate his performance in the inevitable rematch. Hearn's pragmatic take has added another layer of intrigue to an already captivating saga. Beyond the fight itself, Gervonta Tank Davis's behavior throughout the event raised eyebrows and sparked questions about his focus and professionalism. Davis, known for his brash personality, took tardiness to a new level, arriving nearly 4 hours late to a pre-fight media event and showing up 90 minutes late to the weigh-in. While some dismissed it as typical star behavior, others saw it as a sign of disrespect to the sport and his opponent. During the fight, Davis's conduct was equally puzzling. He was caught arguing with referee Steve Willis on multiple occasions, even turning his back to Roach to engage in heated exchanges, a move that left him open to clean shots from his opponent. Between rounds, cameras captured Davis yelling over his trainer, Calvin Ford, shouting, "Listen to me," in a rare display of frustration. His post-fight antics, including the now infamous explanation about hair chemicals burning his eyes, only added to the perception that Davis was unfocused and unprepared. For a fighter who has built his reputation on dominance and composure, the uncharacteristic behavior has left fans and analysts wondering, is the pressure of being boxing's golden boy finally getting to Tank Davis?
Didn't win. I was like, oh, you. I said, oh, shit, here it goes. But as soon as I heard that 114, I was just like, damn, all right, it's over with.
As the boxing world debates his future, one thing is certain: Davis's next move will be under a microscope. The highly anticipated bout between Gervonta, Tank Davis, and Lamont Roach Jr. ended in a majority draw, a result that left the boxing world divided. While the decision preserved Davis's undefeated record, it also sparked widespread outrage, with many believing Roach had done enough to secure a victory. One judge scored the fight 114 to 113 in favor of Davis, while the other two saw it as a draw, leading to the controversial outcome. However, the consensus among fans, analysts, and even fellow fighters is that Roach was robbed. The 9th round, in particular, has become the focal point of the debate. Had referee Steve Willis ruled Davis's voluntary knee as a knockdown, which most agree it should have been, Roach would have earned a 10-8 round, flipping the scorecards in his favor. The draw not only denied Roach the WBA lightweight title, but also cost him millions of dollars in potential earnings and the prestige of handing Davis his first professional loss.
So, yeah, man, it's just crazy. I ain't gonna lie. It's okay. We gonna run it back. It's okay.
For Roach, the outcome was a bitter pill to swallow, but his gracious response and unwavering determination have earned him respect and admiration from the boxing community. Meanwhile, Davis's reputation has taken a hit, with critics questioning whether his star power influenced the judges and officials. As the dust settles on the controversial fight, the New York State Athletic Commission, NYSAC, finds itself under immense pressure to address the mounting allegations of officiating errors and bias. The commission has confirmed that it is still reviewing the fight, particularly the events of the 9th round, but has yet to announce a final verdict. This delay has only fueled frustration among fans and fighters.
As we are in the 6th round, let's see what happens, because the words are being thrown at each other. Let's see if the punches start being thrown, and yes, they do.
Many of whom see it as another example of the commission's reluctance to hold itself accountable. The NYSAC's admission that technical issues prevented them from reviewing instant replay footage during the fight has been met with skepticism, with critics accusing the commission of using it as an excuse to avoid making tough decisions.
Can you describe what the feeling was like in the ring? And was it to get the towel out, to get the burn out of your eyes, or what was going on?
I didn't want to get caught.
Lamont Roach Jr.'s team has been vocal in their demands for transparency, urging the commission to overturn the result and declare Roach the rightful winner. However, given the NYSAC's history of downplaying controversies, few are optimistic about the chances of a favorable outcome. As the review drags on, the boxing world remains on edge, waiting to see whether justice will be served or if the sport's integrity will once again be called into question. One thing is certain: the fallout from this fight is far from over, and the NYSAC's decision, or lack thereof, will have lasting implications for the sport. Alright guys, for the best updates on boxing news, moments, events, and actions, subscribe to Knockout Updates and turn on notifications to never miss out on quality content, and check out our other videos. Until next time, peace out.